Welcome back. Today we'll be creating the Swift Scout, a Chilaxian Beastkin halfling that may look cute but has been pushed so far that they take pride at attacking Hell Knights. Hi, I'm Yovo and I'll be going through the Swift Scout today. We have a halfling with the heritage of the Beastkin. The animal that is part of the Beastkin is the mouse, but other small creatures would work, such as a gopher or guinea pig. Quick Shape allows us to take the hybrid form to create different appearances to hide from Hell Knights in combat and appear as a normal halfling in villages. Easily Dismiss is gained from living in Cheliax, whether the Swift Scout learnt the skill from working as a slave or to avoid capture in the first place. Easily Dismiss grants access to Fade Away, allowing the Swift Scout to cast invisibility and misdirection once per day for those emergency situations. With the risk of being captured or restrained by Hell Knights, Unhampered Passage grants freedom of movement, allowing the Swift Scout to slip out from the Hell Knights' flails and chains. And Shadow Self to confuse even the most perceptive to your actual location. Even if they were on guard, they would still be flat-footed from attack to come from a place they weren't expecting. The Swift Scouts spent their younger life spending time in the wilderness, away from society, and with it, they gained experience surviving with limited means and understanding the local terrain. Driven to seek revenge against the Hell Knights and all those embodies the Chilaxian devilish monarchy, the Swift Scout has turned to Rovavug, the god beast that will end everything. Rovavug is a creature that was either the fear or came from the fear that was gnawing at Pharasma. This god seeks to devour everything in all the planes and existence itself. Despite being sealed in the center of Golarion, Rovavug's influence seeps out from the dead vaults. Our Swift Scout's class is a rogue and we'll be going with the Thief Racket. The bonus of choosing the Thief Racket is applying dexterity to damage rolls, but we won't be able to utilize this as we'll be using the blowgun and it isn't a finesse melee weapon. The first level feat is Nimble Dodge to allow the Swift Scout to avoid a potential grapple or combat maneuver from a Hell Knight or damage from a weapon strike. Quick Draw assists the Swift Scout to react to ambushes from Hell Knights by reducing the actions required to retaliate. As most of the Hell Knights will be of some sort of humanoid creature, poison will be effective in dealing damage, opposed to fighting magical creatures and extraplanar foes. Improved Poison and Deadly Poison are both feats that increase the effectiveness of poison by increasing the damage dice. Deadly Poison Weapon also increases the DC of the injury trait Alchemical Poisons by 2, up to the Rogue class DC. We are taking the Wizard Dedication to gain access to arcane spells that will buff up the Swift Scout in combat, making it easier for them to deal with groups of Hell Knights. We are taking the Basic and Expert spellcasting features to gain access to level 6 spells. Taking Master spellcasting will depend on whether higher level spells will be worth it. The other dedication is the Poisoner, which has been chosen as they have a number of feats which improves the effectiveness of using poisons. Subtle Delivery increases the effectiveness of poisons during a critical strike by increasing the chance of a critical failure to occur when the enemy attempts a save. And Pinpoint Poisoner is great when striking foes while hidden or taking advantage of their flat-footed condition, as their attempted save against the poison is reduced. Here's our stat spread. We are focusing on Dexterity to improve our offense and defenses. Intelligence is next to increase our spell modifier and DC with our Wizard Archetype and to improve crafting when making different poisons. With our selection of feats, we are taking the Rogue feats when they become available and filling up the other feats with the Wizard Dedication first before finishing up with the Poisoner Dedication. The skills beneficial for the Swift Scout are Crafting, Society, Stealth, and Survival. We will be increasing Arcana to gain access to the Expert spellcasting feat and to improve Terrain Lore. In crafting, alchemical crafting is required to make specific poisons such as giant centipede venom or black adder venom. Speciality crafting provides a bonus which increases the chance of a critical success. This in turn reduces the value of the materials needed to expend to complete the item. Speciality crafting is enhanced with impeccable crafting by turning successes into critical successes. The bonus from speciality crafting still applies, and this will help reduce the severity of poor dice rolls. Inventor will allow the Swift Scout access to learning new alchemical recipes if they ended up stuck in a situation where they can't access a settlement or places nearby don't have access to higher tiered recipes. In society, we have taken biographical eye when interacting with townsfolk in a new location to suss out if they have any ties to the local Hell Knight force. In stealth, the Swift Scout will avoid being found out by Hell Knights with Terrain Stalker navigating around in dense underbrush. Shadow Mark will reduce the perception of Hell Knights, making it harder for them to spot the Swift Scout from either escaping or setting up an ambush. Foil senses are for those weird Hell Knights that might have some scent, like a barbarian, or tremor sense if they were some sort of flesh warp. Swift Sneak will increase the distance traveled when repositioning or to escape from enemies. And Legendary Sneak to hide in the underbrush or to remain in stealth while moving at full speed during exploration mode. With Survival, Experience Tracker allows the Swift Scout to move at full speed to catch up with escaping Hell Knight troops. And Legendary Guide increases the movement speed while tracking said group of Hell Knights and reduces the penalty when traveling through difficult or greater difficult terrain. With equipment, we are going with the blowgun. While it only does 1 point of damage, it will allow the Swift Scout to deliver injury poisons and generic rogue poisons. Explorer's Clothing is our armor, as we will be starting with 8 strength, which bars the Swift Scout from effectively using light, medium or heavy armor options without penalty. We are taking the Boots of Elvenkind and the Cloak of Elvenkind. The boots allow the Swift Scout to ignore difficult terrain when envisioned, and with the cloak, the Swift Scout gains a bonus to their movement speed. The cloak itself grants another source of casting invisibility and grants a bonus to stealth checks. While wearing the boots, this increases the number of invisibility spells cast per day. The arcane spells granted through the wizard dedication grant spell slots from level 1 to 6. Long Strider to increase the movement travelled in each stride action. Invisibility, as there can never be enough means of avoiding or escaping combat. Haste will improve our action economy as we are taking action taxes to reload and reapply poisons. Dimension Door allows us to have a 120-foot head start of getting away from Hell Knights. Cloud Kill for those who spend their time running after the Swift Scout. This will either slow them down as they move around the cloud or take damage as they head through it. And Repulsion to make moving within 40 feet of the Swift Scout to be either difficult or nigh impossible while the spell is active. The Swift Scout will have a few battle strategies when fighting enemies. The first is Guerrilla Warfare, where the Swift Scout will do hit and run tactics by shooting when hidden. Strikes that hit will apply poison and deal sneak attack damage. There, the Swift Scout can choose to run away and hide, or continue to harry away at their targets.
Hey! Yeah?
Blinding Dart can be achieved with a Weeping Midnight Poison. This injury poison is uncommon and available at higher levels. As the poison successfully progresses through its stages, it will change from the Dazzle condition to the Blinded condition, granting the Swift Scout all the flat-footed condition it needs for further poisons and sneak attack damage.
Hey! Yeah?
Move quick, whether to get into position or torment their opponents, can be achieved with Long Strider and Haste. Repulsion is a good option as it keeps melee foes at a distance if they failed their save. Toxic Shock can be achieved easily as most injury poisons deal damage over time to the target. In addition to ongoing damage if they continually fail their save, These poisons can have secondary debilitating effects such as enfeebled, clumsy, or stupefied. Unfortunately, there is a snare or poison bomb mechanic that will emulate the noxious trap skill associated with this character's inspiration. And here we have all the feats, skills, equipment, and spells discussed in today's video. And leave a comment below on your thoughts on the Swift Scout. Until then, take care.